Right now at noon, the snow has stopped falling. However, the roads remain packed with snow, making travel dangerous. Officials urge drivers to stay home.
Forecast coming up.
Plus, firefighters in Jasper County battle a house fire as the extreme cold freezes their equipment.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, the snow has passed, but the extreme cold continues, bringing with it another alert day. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Now, along with the cold, road conditions remain hazardous. We're going to go straight to Chris Warner for more on today's weather.
From this morning, you can see a little on the road, but still, we got some snowpack out there. Again, this snow has been packed. It's frozen. It's difficult to scrape. And then, of course, with the winds today, that's blowing any loose snow back onto the roadways. We'll have a full look at road conditions in a moment, but just a quick check out there. You can see 32nd and Range Line. Again, some improvements, but not much, unfortunately, across the area. So let's take a look. We do have some flurries out there on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, which you can see not much, and we've seen these flurries and some light snow showers throughout the day today, but again, thankfully, nothing significant, no accumulating snowfall expected. We started yesterday at 4 and made it up to a whopping 22 degrees when our average high is 51. 8 in Joplin right now, sitting at 7 in Pittsburgh. All of us, for the most part, still in the single digits with some 10s, 11s, and 12s down in our southern counties, but those gusty northeast winds still making it very cold out there, putting wind chills below 0 across the area, and that's how we're going to remain overnight tonight. Temperatures eventually falling back below 0 for our overnight lows, putting those wind chills back around 20 below tonight. We're going to have a full look at your forecast, talking about this cold weather, the road conditions, and the spring warm-up that's around the corner in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. And those hazardous road conditions and extreme cold are making it difficult for first responders to reach emergencies. Now take a look at this house fire from earlier this morning in Jasper County, Missouri, just outside of Carthage. Carthage Fire Chief Jason Martin tells us crews immediately ran into issues getting to the residents due to treacherous road conditions. And once they arrived, firefighters struggled with frozen equipment, making it difficult to fully operate. There are also no fire hydrants in that area. Crews had to rely on a tanker shuttle to battle the blaze. Everyone inside got out safely and no firefighters were injured. The home is a total loss, however, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, if you have to leave the house under these extreme conditions, make sure you are prepared for anything. If you find yourself in an accident or stranded, experts say there are items you should have and safety measures you should follow to keep yourself and others safe.
If you're in a crash with another vehicle, certainly, try to get your vehicles to a safe location if possible, away from the lanes of traffic, and then, exchange insurance info. And really all it takes is, each driver, however many drivers are involved, snap a photo of their license and their insurance card.
Have water, some food, blankets for warmth, because you don't know how long you're going to be, especially if there are a whole lot of crashes.
AAA also says to help avoid crashes, you should have at least 4 to 6 car lengths between you and other vehicles. And emergency response services are on standby for accidents. The Labette County Sheriff said yesterday people there have been taking precaution and staying off the roads, and his department has seen minimal accidents. The sheriff says if you do have to travel, it's best to be prepared in case an emergency strikes.
Driving, just make sure you have coats, blankets, any kind of item to keep you warm. Have your cell phone charged, so if you need to, you can always dial star 47 to reach the highway patrol.
Now, he says it's important to stay off roads to avoid an emergency, especially because the extreme weather conditions can increase emergency response times. A lot of people who tried to travel on I-44 yesterday probably wish they hadn't. Authorities received multiple reports of slide-offs along the interstate in southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma. Now, at one point, the Missouri Highway Patrol shut down westbound I-44 at mile marker 11 near the Missouri-Oklahoma line for an extended duration. KOAM's Shannon Becker covered the interstate yesterday, where conditions led to more than a dozen semi-truck crashes. The Highway Patrol recommends drivers continue to seek an alternate route and prepare to seek shelter as temperatures continue to drop. And the dangerous road conditions extended south of us into northwest Arkansas. Now, this is video from the Fayetteville area yesterday. The Arkansas Department of Transportation has around 2,200 crew members that were working, and they used over 15,000 cubic yards of salt for this storm. The Arkansas National Guard has also been mobilized to help in the support efforts. Dave Parker with ADOT says, quote, "It's just going to be a very, very tough week travel-wise." And you can get the latest road conditions and power outages across the area anytime through this QR code. Now, it'll direct you to links on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for information for each of the 4 states in our viewing area. And for a full list of closings in the area due to winter weather, you can just scan this QR code for school, government, church closings, and more. The QR code will take you straight to the closings page of our website. And once there, you can also find instructions on how to submit other closings. Now, one place that says they'll be running normal hours today is Freeman Health System. The healthcare provider says today all inpatient, clinical, and hospital services will run as normal at Freeman Health System West, East, and Neosho. Both Freeman Health System urgent care facilities in Joplin and Webb City open today at noon. And coming up, Joplin authorities make an arrest in Monday night's shooting. And later, we're making bistro pan-seared scallops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We have an update to a shooting incident in Joplin. Police have arrested this man, Jahaven Crumpton, in connection to the shooting, which happened Monday night around 6:30 on Florida Avenue. JPD responded to 911 calls in reference to gunshots. Upon arrival, police found a male victim with gunshot wounds. They took him to a local hospital for further treatment, and at last report was listed in stable condition. Crumpton has been arrested on charges of first-degree assault, second-degree assault, and armed criminal action. Well, thousands of federal government employees have been given pink slips in the first month of the Trump administration. The president and his Doge chief, billionaire Elon Musk, are defending those cuts in their first joint interview. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
You're still doing it.
In a joint interview with Fox News, President Trump and Elon Musk defended efforts to downsize the federal government.
What all we're really trying to do here is restore the will of the people through the president. And what we're finding is that there's an unelected bureaucracy.
The White House insists that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is advising agencies, but that final decisions on who gets cut rest with agency leaders or secretaries. And those cuts have created confusion, like at the USDA, where CBS News confirms some veterinarians and animal health technicians working on the bird flu outbreak were accidentally fired. The agency said it's now working to rescind the dismissal letters.
What do we want?
Justice! Outside the CDC in Atlanta, protesters sounded off against cuts impacting more than 1,000 newer employees there. Democratic lawmakers worry about potential impact to the public, especially with cuts to agencies like the FAA.
These are really important jobs to the current system, and the current system has to keep functioning.
In the Fox News interview, President Trump insisted benefits such as Social Security are safe.
Other than if there's fraud or something, we're going to find it's going to be strengthened, but won't be touched. Medicare, Medicaid, none of that stuff is going to be touched.
Nothing.
Late Tuesday, a federal judge ruled the court could not immediately block DOJ's efforts to access federal computer systems without clear evidence of imminent irreparable harm. But she acknowledged the seriousness of allegations from states filing the lawsuit. Natalie Britt, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration has said DOJ is focusing next on the Department of Defense, with representatives visiting the Pentagon weighing cuts at the federal government's largest agency. And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
The fact that the sea is bigger than a bay has a lot to do with what we're whipping up today. Any ideas what it could be?
Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we have an alert day today. It continues through tomorrow, and that is because of the dangerous cold that we have. Thankfully, the snow is done. At least it's done falling, but it's not done causing travel headaches. Let's take a look around. Itself is completely covered still, making progress, and God bless the road crews. They're going to be out there for a while, but you see how it's shiny? I can actually kind of point. If you look right down here near the traffic signal itself, where it's a little shiny, it's because some of this stuff is frozen. It froze, and that's going to make it harder to scrape. Looking at the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue, looking better as well, but you can still see that there's some snow out into the road itself, out into the driving lane, so you've got to be careful out there. The KDOT camera down by Kansas Crossing, significant improvements, a lot of clearing going on, and again, these road crews are working very hard to get these roads cleared because they know how essential it is for folks to be able to get where they need to go, get to work, get to school, get to wherever it may be. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line, still some snowpack out there, especially into those left turn lanes. Seen some improvements in the driving lanes across there. East 20th Street from range line, again, improvements, yes, but still slick spots and plentiful snow out there. So that's what we talked about earlier, too, is you could run into a clear spot and then suddenly be right back into that snow. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. This is at I-44 mile marker 4. This is looking back toward Love, so back toward the north on 43 in Coyote. Again, improvements definitely being made, but a lot of work to be done, and thankfully not many cars on the road, so that's allowing these road crews to get done what they need to. So a lot more partially covered roadways in Kansas, a few less covered, and we're seeing the same, at least, excuse me, into our section of Southwest Missouri, we're seeing a few more of those partly covered roadways, but we still have some that are covered, especially in the eastern portions of our coverage area out there. On to the future track. Again, we've had some flurries. We'll still see some flurries here and there. It will be very cold today with those mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. We'll start to go partly cloudy overnight, but the problem we're going to run into is we'll lose the cloud cover. And while it's not much of a thermal blanket, it's been helping a little. And that's going to allow temperatures to fall back below zero for just the overnight lows, not even counting the wind chills. So it's going to be a bitterly cold start to the day Thursday. Still very cold Thursday, but by the afternoon, the winds ease up. So we're not as bad out there in terms of those wind chills, which is why these cold weather advisories and extreme cold warnings will expire at noon tomorrow because the winds will ease up. And while, yeah, there will be a wind chill, it won't be 20 below zero. It'll be maybe a few degrees above zero for us. So for the rest of today, again, highs upper single digits, low teens. That's a new phrase for me to say. We got the north wind still gusting to 25, and those wind chills down as low as 20 below. Same tonight with those wind chills. Overnight lows anywhere from 5 to 10 below zero. North winds continuing to gust with partly cloudy skies. Teens tomorrow, but again, the winds by the afternoon easing up north at around 5 to 10. So still wind chills, just not as dangerously cold. Not like they're any better, but slight improvements out there. But major improvements down the road, upper 20s Friday, upper 30s Saturday, upper 40s Sunday, and then next week break out the swimming pool and the swim trunks because compared to now, it's a 60-degree difference almost for many of us. Upper 50s, low 60s next week, so I mean, it is going to almost feel like summertime by the time we get to next week. And don't forget, March 1st is next Saturday. So a nice way to lead into March.
Absolutely, I'll say. Chris, thanks. Well, stick around. We're making bistro pan-seared scallops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, you can take your dinner up a notch with today's fancy and easy recipe. Howard's making bistro pan-seared scallops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
The other day, I was at a restaurant and had some of the best scallops I've had in a long time. And it dawned on me, as I was eating them, that I haven't shared a scallop recipe with you in quite some time. So let me show you my take on the dish that I thought was so good. We'll dry some sea scallops on a paper towel before seasoning them with a bit of salt and pepper. And if you're not sure how to tell the difference between sea scallops and bay scallops, here's a way to remember. Bay scallops are the smaller ones since they come from a bay, which is smaller than the sea. After these are sauteed, we take them out of the pan and cover them to keep them warm while we add some chopped onion, garlic, tomatoes, and a little more salt and pepper. Once they're tender, we add a splash of white wine, or we can use chicken broth, along with some capers. Then all we have to do is serve this over our scallops, and we have a restaurant fancy meal. Maybe serve this over a bed of wilted spinach to make it even more la-di-da. And don't forget to spoon all that flavor-packed sauce over them too. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our bistro pan-seared scallops, so you'll have this easy gourmet recipe right at your fingertips. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fancy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, as always, you can find this recipe for bistro pan-seared scallops along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's take a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so again, our alert days continue through tomorrow for the dangerously cold temperatures, wind chills today, tonight, and the first half of Thursday, upwards of 20 below zero. And then about a week from now, not even, temperatures upper 50s, low 60s, very spring-like weather on the way. But again, for now, please just stay inside, stay off the roadways. I know a number of schools and places are already canceled or closed tomorrow, so it's a number of reasons to stay indoors and off the streets yet again. And remember, plow crews are doing their best, but it's going to take time. So the more of us that stay home, the more time and space they've got to do what they need to do. And then we'll all get together, and we'll fill up the pool, and we'll celebrate next week with those 60-degree temperatures as we lead into March.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, if everyone's safe and smart in the next few days, we'll all get a big reward. And I like the sound of that pool.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to be ready for the pool
exactly.
next week, but more power to you and Chris, for sure.
I guess so. Don, what are your first later on?
Well, a lot coming up at 5, of course, on the weather conditions. Doug's going to have the latest on the wintry weather. Also, what's happening now, what lies ahead. Plus, an update on road conditions and the efforts to make them passable as much as possible anyway. And we're going to get some expert advice on protecting your water pipes and what you can do if they freeze. That is a real problem right now. Doug has been telling us for a couple of days, keep those pipes dripping.
Yes.
We hope that you've done that. If you haven't, well, maybe there's still some things you can do, and we'll get that information at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dal. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.